What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest of cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
And LeVon Maynard.
Hey, welcome to the show.
What is going on? So this is the Tuesday episode. So Monday and Tuesday are our topics. Yesterday, we talked about a pin, or is it like flash message that came from the FBI about bringing burner phones to the Olympics. Wednesday, we'll have a really good discussion. Thursday, I actually have a Ask Us SP where I talked to Alex Worsham. So tune in for that one. Friday, we talk about everything else. So if you tune into the Friday episodes, we talk about games, movies, other things that are not cybersecurity related. So action-packed week, please tune in. And without further ado, I'll give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. So this article is actually from the Wall Street Journal. Excuse me. And it was written by Dustin Balls, and it's titled "Biden Administration Forms Cybersecurity Review Board to Probe Failures." And the headline for this, really, what it is this is a new panel that's loosely modeled on the National Transportation Safety Board, the NTSB, and it's going to look into recently discovered Log4j internet bug and different things like that going forward to try to head these things off at the pass, right? So as I was reading this article, something that really struck me here is that this was something I thought was already being done, but apparently it wasn't, right? So as the cybersecurity stuff started to blossom and bloom under this current administration, I guess I just automatically assumed this was something that they were doing and they were looking out for, right? I figure if you're going to offer your services, you already have something like this in the background that has gone. This board has gone, and it's an independent agency that's going to fall. It's going to fall under the Homeland, is it? I think
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Homeland
DHS.
Security, right? Yeah, Department of Homeland Security. But I don't know how you don't already have this if you're out there offering support to whether it be your agencies or the general public, right? Because we've already seen where we have is it DISA? Who is it that was out there, or was it
CISA?
CISA. It was CISA that was out there offering assistance, you know what I mean, to anybody that pretty much wants it, you know what I mean? It's just a matter of, hey, we are making ourselves available to help you out when it comes to hardening and things of that nature. I figured this would have already been in place, but apparently it wasn't. So that kind of, I don't know, it made me think a little bit like, well, how are we really half-assing some of these initiatives that are going out there? But something that was good about it that I thought was the size of the board, right? So like the NTSB only has 5 members. This actually has 15, right? Which is good, right? I mean, the more people you have from different, and hopefully from different walks of life, right? Like hopefully you're not getting 15 of the same types of people, right? From the same industries or whatever. But this is something that is it's gonna help. I like it, but I thought it should have been something that was in place before you start to offer up your expertise on things, right? Like it just doesn't seem like you thought this out when you went out to the public and said, hey, we're going to help you out with all these things. Yes, you're taking cybersecurity serious. We appreciate it, right? But you should have all your ducks in a row. And this seemed like something that should have gone into that already, right? But I don't know. That's just my thinking on it. Ryan, what do you have on this, man?
So I kind of disagree. Like, I think a lot of this is being, unfortunately, the plane is being built in flight just because of the catching up. You know what I mean? Like between administrations, they all had different angles and points of view on how this should work since I want to say the Obama administration was one of the first like forces to really push hard, right? And that was how many years ago? So the government moves a little bit slower. But I think it was a matter of like, okay, now we have like CISA and we have, industry partners and things of that nature who are heading up these initiatives on the government's behalf or in association with the government. But now we actually need a department or a board to help. And it's, like you said, it's slightly different, right? So it's more members, but they lack like subpoena power and things like that. So it's kind of still a work in progress. But I was looking at some of the names. So it says like Rob Silvers, the undersecretary for the policy at DHS and a lawyer with expertise in cybersecurity issues, would chair the review board. Heather Atkins, senior director of security engineering at Alphabet Inc.'s Google, has been tapped as the vice chair. So they're definitely picking people who are very knowledgeable, it seems, to be in key positions. So I'm pretty excited to see who the 15 will be. I think it'll be a pretty diverse group of some government, some industry leaders, and what have you. So I think it's obviously, like you said, like we like that the government's taking it seriously. We like that they're building up. It may be a chicken for the egg type situation, but as long as it's there, you know what I mean? Like I didn't know it wasn't there, so that didn't seem to be the problem. But now that I know it's there, like okay, they're becoming more robust. They're getting their ducks in a row. Like I have all these old adages and sayings in one conversation, but it looks like they're getting their stuff straight. So I greatly appreciate it.
And I want to clarify. So I'm sorry, LeVon, real quick. I want to clarify. I'm not against the board, right? I just thought it was something that was already in place, right? For
right.
For everything that
you
the
would already
trying to offer out.
Yeah. No, and I agree. But luckily, nothing happened where it was called out like, oh, because we don't have a board, and that's why this happened. So I think that's kind of good. Like, yes, it was not in place yet, but it doesn't seem to have caused any issues. So hopefully, it just makes everything more robust. But what about you, LeVon?
Yeah, I was taking a look at this article, and I think it's, obviously, I think it's a good thing overall, just to have this board put together to kind of focus on this cybersecurity initiative. And and I'm sure you guys saw it too, but they go into the article and saying how they're, who is it? Mr. Mayorkas. He says, we are going to be looking at ourselves. We are going to be looking at one another. And it really underscores the purpose of this board to not focus on fault. So they say that they're not really looking for individuals to blame, or like, I guess, corporations, or lack of cyber awareness to blame, try to blame people that aren't taking it serious, but they're trying to maybe investigate what the cause that led up to certain breaches and things of that nature. But at the same time, I'm kind of like suspicious of that. I feel like it's maybe this board is more so to be, so obviously it's obviously to find those holes and see where we're lacking, generally speaking. But I also think that they kind of want to be able to like find certain individuals that may be like kind of tied to the to the breach and what access they have and how they were managing that system. But you guys mentioned like the subpoena power and stuff like that, similar to, like, I know even they have the not to bring it too political, but they had the January 6th committee that could subpoena like phone records and things of that nature and find out like, hey, how did this start? Where did this all originate from? And like, what is the initial cause of the cyber incident in relation to this committee here? But I'm kind of a little suspicious of that. But and just like, kind of like you said, Shannon, I mean, it seemed like this is something that should have been already in place long ago. I guess maybe they have been relying on the scissors and things like that to maybe to provide like the security, I don't know, security like reaction and investigations and things of that nature. But I mean, it's good to see that. I know Biden in general seemed to be a bigger focus on the cybersecurity, widely speaking, compared to maybe some of the past administrations, which is I think is a great thing. And hopefully this is kind of like a new trend that we're seeing in the industry, just that we're becoming more cyber aware. And obviously, it goes all the way back to all the stuff we've been covering for the last year or two here with the ransomware attacks hitting our oil pipelines and some of our like security grids and stuff like that, or like the water systems, stuff like that. And then hitting the meat packing factory in like Brazil and all this kind of stuff. So these kind of things are like very, very important to us, and we also need to be taking it serious. We should have all the manpower, all the focus that we need to combat these. I mean, these are the type of things that can like shut down a country, can cause people to lose their lives, and these kind of committees are like kind of essential to have. So that's my thoughts on it. But I'll turn it back over to you, Ryan, if you had some more additional thoughts to add, or Shannon.
So maybe you hit the nail on the head with that oil thing, right? Like it's like Chappelle said, I'm trying to get that oil. Like this, I mean, you think about everything that's happened, right? Like you brought up the major ones, right? Like the Colonial Pipeline, the JBS. You know what I mean? It's stuff you're not gonna mess with. Don't mess with our gas. Don't mess with our food, especially our pork in America, right?
That's right.
Americans not getting their bacon. Come on now. Go ahead, Ryan.
Right.
Oh no, I was gonna say. So as you dig through the list, I mean, there's some heavy hitters on here. Like you have NSA. What is he? cybersecurity official at the NSA, John Carlin. You have, I see Palo Alto's in here, Microsoft's in here. They have Mark Warren from the Senate Intelligence Committee. So he's the Democrat senator from Virginia. So it's a lot of diverse people who seem to be coming from the right places, which hopefully will allow transparency where a company can be like, hey, listen, this is what the issue is. This is how we found it and how we can resolve it. So maybe there'll be some crosstalk between them.
Yeah.
So that would be kind of cool. But yeah, I honestly don't know how that works because they, I mean, like businesses, governments, things like that have certain things they need to keep close hold. So like, does this allow them some immunity when they come to the table to fix things? So
that's a great point. Yeah, I didn't think about that as well. Yeah, just having that potential camaraderie, or just to be able to share maybe more internal resolution steps or things that they identified as far as a cyber attack. And even just like, I know I talked about it like the last week, but we had Microsoft had like some sort of widespread, like a big cyber attack that hit, that they were able to fend off.
Oh, right, the Azure. I think you brought it up. Yeah.
In Azure. Yep. So maybe like Microsoft potentially could relay to Google or whoever, Palo Alto, something like that, to say, hey, this is what we identified. This is where it's coming from. And this is our systems in place that we use to kind of defend that attack. And maybe you guys can look into, using that kind of system as well to prevent yourself from getting DDoS in the future. So something like that, I think would be great if we had this, this panel could maybe come together and collaborate on that kind of information.
Right. So yeah, so interesting. Like again, like the different administrations, like each one from the Obama administration, Trump administration, they all had pieces. It seemed like they put in the foundation. It feels like this administration is actually enacting, like they're flipping the switch on certain things. Like I remember, I think it was like day one where they cut on all the IPs that had been in reserve. We're like, what is that for? So it seems like a bunch of steps took place before now, and we're starting to see it all come to fruition. So pretty cool. I'm excited. With that being said, please continue to tune in. On Monday, we talked about the burner phones for the Olympians. Wednesdays discussion will be centered around an entire security team being fired from a private business. So we'll talk about that. Thursday, I sit down, I talked to Alex Worsham, young man trying to get into cybersecurity. He's already in IT, invested in IT very heavily, and he wants to take the plunge and go the cybersecurity route in the future. So we have a really good conversation. I think it's about 45 minutes. And then Friday, talk about everything else. So games, movies, TV shows, all that good stuff. So you just want to see how we unwind and our opinions about certain films and things of that nature that I suggest to Shannon and he hates. And tune into that episode as well. But hit up the website, www.theothersideofthefirewall.com, to get to all of our social medias. You can hit me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy, RYRY Security Guy, on LinkedIn, Twitter, Clubhouse, and TikTok. And you, LeVon?
Yes, sir. You can hit me up on Twitter's at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. Stay safe, stay secure.
Take care.